Welcome back, friends. It has been a great pleasure discussing with you about stress management. In this session, I'm going to discuss with you regarding very important topic in stress management. This is meditation and pranayama. First, we'll discuss regarding meditation. Now, to know about meditation, I would like to explain with the help of example. So, if there is a pond and there is a pure water in it, after a few days, what happens? The grass grows on it, and it is all covered by dirt. Then what will happen? Does the sun rays will reach to the water? No, it won't reach, because it has been covered by grass, moss and dirt. And if we want the sun rays to reach the water, then what we have to do? We have to remove the grass, the dirt from it. Similarly, when we are small, we are the soul. Our heart is strong. We are full of love, joy, happiness, peace. Because the true nature of our soul is love, peace and happiness. But as we grow, our mind becomes strong and our heart becomes weak. Our mind becomes strong and our soul becomes weak. Our soul is the master. The mind is the servant. But the mind becomes a master and the soul becomes a servant. So, like the water is covered by dirt, the soul is covered by mind. We are not able to connect with our soul. That's why we are not happy, we are not at peace. Now, what is this mind? The mind is nothing but the collection of thought. It has a lot of ego. It is ignorant, it is complicated, multi-psychic. It has a lot of desire and attachment. So, if we want to have a true soul, then we should reach in a state called as no mind. And to reach in that particular state, we should become thoughtless and egoless. Now I would explain you what this mind creates problem, how this mind creates a problem in our life. The mind think in a logical way, and I would like to explain it with the story. Once a friend come to Mullah Nasruddin to take an advice, and then friend says, I'm not able to take a decision. I love two girls. One is rich but she is ugly. Another is a poor and she is very beautiful. If I marry poor girl, then there is a problem of my whole life. I am very poor. I won't be able to feed myself. And how can I feed my wife? And if I marry the rich girl, then I have to see her ugly face. Mullah Nasruddin said the solution is very easy. You marry the rich girl and love the poor girl. So the mind always think in a logic, and if you follow the logic, and you know that you will be always in a trouble. The mind is egoistic. It tries to find a fault with other. If you are under the influence of ego, you would be always in a trouble. Now I will explain you with the help of story. Mullah Nasruddin is a 90-year-old. He was on the verge of dying, and one day suddenly he declared that he want to get married with the girl next door, and she is a 16-year-old. his son, who are around 60-year-old, 70-year-old, he goes to Mullah Nasruddin and say, "Father, how can you marry at this age?" Mullah Nasruddin said, "What are you saying? When I married to your mother, she was 16-year-old." So the children said, "If you marry at this age, it may lead to a very serious physical problem, or it may lead to death." Mullah Nasruddin said, "Okay, in that case, I would marry other girl. If she dies, I will marry other girl." So he is old enough. He is on the verge of dying. They are trying to tell him that he may die, and he says he is trying to find a fault with other. He is not trying to find a fault with himself. So similarly, when the mind is under the influence of ego, it finds the fault with others. And one day, Mullah Nasruddin went to visit the modern art gallery. Seeing the picture, he became very confused, because the modern picture, you don't know what it is in that particular picture. After seeing whole museum, and then he went and stopped at a particular spot, and he became very angry. He called up the manager and he asked, "What kind of creature is this in this painting? What kind of creature is depicted in this painting? Can you tell me? It's such a horrible picture." The manager said to Mullah Nasruddin, "Sir, it is not a picture. You are standing in front of a mirror." So we always try to find the fault with other, and this is all done by our mind, egoistic mind. And as far as the mind would be there, we would be always in trouble. We'll be always unhappy, we'll be always in a stress, we'll be always in a mess. So how we can get rid of this mind so that we become our soul, our true nature? And this is done with meditation. Now, this has been explained by Saint Kabir through his verse. And he said, "घूंघट का पट खोल रे तो को पिहू मिलेंगे, घट घट में साई रमता कटुक वचन बोल रे, शून्य महल में दिए न बारले आसन सोमत डोल रे, जागो जुगुत सुरंग महल में पिए पायो अनमोल रे, कहे कबीर आनंद भयो बाजत अनत ढोल रे." So I would like to explain in a brief about this verse. He says that you have created a curtain between you and the God, you and with your soul, and this curtain is that of mind. Due to this curtain, your soul is in darkness. Take a light in the darkness, and this light is through meditation. When you take the meditation inside you, you will see your true soul, and when you see your true soul, you will become happy and at peace, and this happiness would be everlasting. Bajat anat dholare. So with meditation you will become peaceful and happy in your life. Now there are various kind of meditation, but what I found is easy to follow and very helpful is called as mindful meditation, also called as Anapanasati Yoga. Now, what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is accepting life as it is and living in a present moment. Now, what happens? We always live in either past or I always live in future, and this is also due to mind. We are bogged down or worried or unhappy about our past, and we are worried about our future. And let me tell you with the example how the past experience follows us after many years. Once the villager went to a barber shop. The barber asked him about the previous election which happened 5 years back, and the villager started telling what wrong it happened during that election, what kind of fight he had with the opponent. And after finishing the haircut, the village head asked the barber, "Every time I came to you, you ask the same thing, you make me angry, why do you do this?" The barber said, "Sir, when you come and when I ask you about that incident, you become angry and your head stand up and it is very easy for me to cut." So we are haunted by our past experience and which has happened years back. And we celebrate it. We do its birthday for years together. But only that in this kind of birthday there is no cake and there is only knife. The knife of hatred. So we are worried about our past. We are also very anxious about our future. The Mark Twain has said that my life was full of worry. Most of the things didn't happen. So we are worried about a lot of things, and actually that thing doesn't happen in future. I would like to explain you with one example. There was a couple in a village. They wanted to visit their friend in another village, and there was a river in between, and there was a bridge, and they knew that the bridge was in a very bad shape and it was about to break. So they were worried whether they can go, they can walk on a bridge, what will happen if it breaks, they will fall down, they will die, they will get hurt. They were worried whole night, but they decide to go and try. And then next day when they go and they reach the river, they find that the new bridge has been erected. Okay, so last day their whole night was wasted in the anxiety, worry about the bad state of bridge. But actually the bridge was replaced few days back, and there was a new bridge which was very strong. So similarly, we are always worried about futures. So we are either in the past or either in the future. But the present is a truth. The past is a history. The future is the mystery. The present is a gift. That is why it is called as present. So mindful meditation teaches you how to be in a present moment, how to accept the things in a non-judgmental way. The meditation should be a part of your life. It should not be done for some time and you should forget about it. It should be a part of your whole life, day-to-day activity. But to know the essence of it, we have to start doing meditation at least 20 to 30 minutes per day. And I will teach you how to do meditation. For meditation, you should have a peaceful place. You can sit on a floor or you can sit on a chair. The main rule is you have to keep your back straight. Then you should first know that meditation is not a concentration. Those people who try to do meditation and try to concentrate, they become more stressful, they become more angry, they become more agitated, because when they start doing concentration, if somebody says something, some child cries, if there is some noise, they become agitated and irritated. So instead of become peaceful, they become more agitated. So let me tell you that the meditation is not concentration. Okay, because if you try to concentrate, then you would be haunted by the lot of distraction. So you have to sit with the back erect and slowly close your eyes. Okay. When you close your eyes, then you have to give some suggestion to yourself. first suggestion is, my body is getting relaxed. My body is getting relaxed. Say this thing for 1 or 2 minutes. My body is getting relaxed from head to toe. My body is getting relaxed from head to toe. When you give suggestion to your body, when you take a charge of your body listen to you and it start becoming relaxed. Because a lot of stress causes stiffening of some part of body. When you say this, then your body become relaxed. Once your body become relaxed, the next thing you say, you give suggestion that your breathing is becoming slow. Your breathing has started becoming slow. Your breathing becomes slow. Your breathing has become slow. So what happens during agitated, stressful situation? We breathe fast. When we breathe slow, then our mind also calm down. So we give suggestion that your breathing is becoming slow. Your breathing is becoming slow. After 1 and 2 minutes, you start giving suggestion that your mind becoming silent. Your mind is becoming silent. So similarly, for this 1 or 2 minutes, give this suggestion and just concentrate on your nostril. The air coming in your nostril. Hear the sound it produces. Feel the sensation, how it goes to your lung and whole body. Just your nostril or your breathing would be your anchor. The air coming in, air going out. Air coming in, air going out. Just become aware of your breathing and nothing else. Now, during meditation, our mind is like a monkey hopping from one tree to other. Lot of thoughts will come in your mind. Now, I've told you that meditation is not concentration. Meditation is not preventing coming thought in your mind. When the thought comes in your mind, you have to just observe the thought. Don't try to prevent the thought coming in your mind. Don't try to get carried away with it. Just observe it without any judgment that this is a good thought or bad thought. Just observe it. By observing, what will happen? It will go up its own. When you will come to know that you are with thought, then again get back your attention to your breathing. Your breathing is like your anchor. As if you are sitting at the bank of river and you are just watching the water coming and water going. You are not preventing the water coming and you are not carrying away with the water. You are just observing the water. Similarly, you are like a sky and the thoughts are like clouds. The clouds are coming and going. Clouds are coming and going, and the sky is stable. Just observing the clouds. So you are to just observe your thought and don't give any judgment to it. And you know that when you don't pay any attention to particular thing, it just disappears. Similarly, when you don't pay any attention to your thought, it get disappear. And this is the first stage of meditation, that you become thoughtless. When you become thoughtless, you experience such a kind of a peace which you would have never experienced in your life. But this is not the only aim of meditation. The second step is to become egoless. First is thoughtless and second thing is egoless. When you become egoless, then you become happy. And this ego is due to I, me. When this I disappears, until and unless this I doesn't disappear, you won't be happy. So you have to think in such a way that the way the rainwater, the drop of water goes into the ocean and it disappears, it loses its identity and it becomes ocean itself. For a drop to become ocean, it has to disappear its identity. So if you have to become a supreme conscious, you have to know your soul, you have to connect with the God, you have to disappear. Kabir has said, जब मैं था तब हरि नहीं, जब हरि है मैं नहीं. Means when I was there, there was no God. When I was not there, there was God. So you have to, during meditation, you have to experience that you have been lost. Your existence has been lost and you have merged with this whole universe. And when your identity is lost, then you become egoless. And that time you experience the real happiness which is everlasting. So during meditation, first step is to become thoughtless, and second thing you become egoless. And during this meditation, whatever experience, whatever peace and happiness you experience, this is a guiding point. This is essence you take and you carry forward in your day-to-day life, so that your walking become meditation, your eating become your meditation. For example, while walking, don't pay any attention to other things. Just observe your physicality while walking, your movement of your foot, the touch it as when it touch to the ground, the texture of the ground, its feeling, the wind blowing against your face, your breathing. Just observe, become aware of this. So your walking become a meditation. Your eating can become a meditation. While eating, just switch off the mobile, switch off the TV, don't talk. Just observe the food, see its color, experience its fragrance, then with hands, experience its texture, experience its taste while eating. Just be aware of it. And then your eating become a meditation. Sometimes few people may not get a time to do meditation. So while going to sleep, do this procedure. Like after sleeping, your body is becoming relaxed, say that, then your mind, breathing is becoming silent and your mind is becoming silent. And while doing meditation, you just fall asleep. Your whole sleep will become meditation, and when you will get up in the morning, you will be refreshed up. So this way you can do meditation in your day-to-day activity. Few tips. When you get up in the morning, just don't think about anything. Just appreciate God and express your gratitude for giving one more day to you. Say, I am happy. See the flowers, the trees, the birds. Experience the wind blowing against your face. While going to the office, just observe yourself, observe your driving. When you go to office, just settle down, take some deep breath, get yourself acquainted with this thing, and then start work. And while doing work, do it with awareness. Then your work will become meditation. So friends, start doing meditation. It would be very difficult initially, because the meditation is a death of mind, and then the mind will give you a lot of tricks, and it will say, what the hell are you doing? This is useless. There's so much of good things you have in your life. There's so much of good movies. There's a WhatsApp, there's a Facebook. What the stupid thing you're doing? These things will come to your mind, because the meditation is dead to your mind, and it will try to distract you in whatever way it can. But don't listen to it. Start doing it for 2 minutes, then 3 minutes, just increase. And then when you experience the peace and happiness you experience during meditation, then you yourself will start doing it. Because when you find something good, then you will do it again and again. So you have to just don't think about it, just start it, at least for 5 minutes. And I'll beg that you will persistently and constantly do it. Now meditation is very helpful. I told you regarding stress management, become peaceful and become happy. But there has been a lot of studies going on all around the world regarding meditation, and they found scientifically that the people who do regular meditation, their heart rate decreases, their blood pressure decreases, their sugar decreases, their lipid profile, fat decreases in the body, their cholesterol decreases, their heart become more stronger, the blocks disappear. Sometimes some cancers are cured and they become healthy. If those people who are addicted, their addiction disappear. Those who have mental illness, their mental illness disappear. There's so much of physical and mental benefits from meditation, and the most important of role of meditation that you connect with the Supreme Soul. That is the true purpose of life. So the meditation is helpful as far as body is concerned, it is helpful as far as the mind is concerned, and helpful as